when you ask people what they want, they simply don't know. People always, always know what they don't want. So, what do you don't want?
I felt like I gave everything that I had to give and it wasn't helping. And that kind of situation becomes toxic over time. And that's what I don't want.
And I feel this is a very common phenomenon. When you ask people what they want, they oftentimes say, I don't know. I simply don't know. Do you know what you want? I just had a call with one of the clients, one of our coaching clients. And I don't know if you ever came across that phenomenon that when you ask people what they want, they simply don't know. They answer, "Well, I don't know. I don't know what I want." And I feel this is a very common phenomenon that you meet over and over again. I don't know so much about society. What I know is in the coaching, when you ask people what they want, they oftentimes say, I don't know. I simply don't know. Do you know what you want?
Do I know what I want?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I have a pretty good idea. I mean, obviously, I still have work to do to really like solidify it, but I'm pretty good. I visualize it frequently, so I think I have a pretty good idea of what I want. The how is a little elusive, but that's not really the today's topic. But the what is pretty. I think I know that what needs to happen for me next in my life. I had a point in my life where something needed to happen and I made it happen, and now something else needs to happen. So that's kind of life, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. So some people don't know what they want, but then there's an opportunity to change the perspective. People always, always know what they don't want. So, what do you don't want?
Well, I don't want to go back to where I was. Definitely don't want to go back to where I was.
Where were you?
Where I was in a series of unhappy, unfulfilling relationships. And I think the there's kind of like a feeling of kind of being trapped, like in something that I don't want to be in, something that I can't change, something that I can't, you get to a point where you realize that you've done what you can do and it's gonna be how it's gonna be. I was in a series of unhappy relationships and I was frustrated. This is what happens when you're with someone that doesn't match well with you. And I'm not saying that frustration never happens in a good relationship, but what I'm saying is when it's daily, it's not a good thing. So I felt like I wasn't able to grow. I felt like I wasn't able to give. I felt like I wasn't appreciated. I felt like it was never going to get any better. I felt like I gave everything that I had to give and it wasn't helping. And that kind of situation becomes toxic over time. And so that's what happened. And so I put an end to it. And then I created something different. It didn't happen overnight, but that's what I don't want. And I'll never go back there.
You don't have a chance to go back there. I would stop you. Now you have the salad. That's something that in English sounds weird, but that's something that German says, den Salat. And that means now you have the salad. It kind of basically means now you're stuck with me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you have
Yeah.
the salad. Now you have to eat it.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like it's very funny for me. People, so there are some people out there who know exactly what they want. So I can like I'm someone who knows pretty good what I want. And yeah, I just realized interestingly, if I think about what I don't want, I don't even know that. I just know what I want. I'm so focused on the what I want, but I know a lot of people. Like they're just complaining about their daily life. And then you ask them, yeah, how do you want it to be? how can I know? I don't know what I want. So it's a very good exercise, guys. Take a sheet and make like a cross, like do a line in the middle and a line horizontal. And then you write on the left side, I don't want this anymore in my life. This is what I don't want. And then you write it all down. So what's that? You don't want to have a sort of relationship you had. So you don't want this anymore. What else?
I don't want to be, I don't want to struggle. I don't want to have worries about how to pay the heat bill. I don't want to have just like what seems like the most basic things. I want to have a, a secure home and all the bills paid. I think everybody probably can relate to that. I went and said what I do want instead of what I don't want. I don't know if I'm very good at this game.
I know exactly what I want. I want to have 5 million of revenue every month. And I remember that first call. I think that was the first private conversation that we two had where I told you I want to have 5 million a month revenue. And you were like, what do you want to do with all the money? And I don't know if that words. So we had a teensy tiny pillow conversation yesterday, right before we went to sleep. And you said something yesterday to me, which made me so happy because this first conversation where I come around the corner with the 5 million a month, you were like, what do you want with all that money? And I said, I want to have houses. I want to own houses all over the world so I can travel and I always feel home when I come there. And you're like, what do you want with all the houses? Why do you want that? And I said, I want to do just everything I want to do. I want to choose every day where to go and whatever I want to see. And so we came across that if you go from, that's the why game again. If you go from your head to your heart, what's the why behind it? It's that freedom. I'm a very free person. I need the freedom of choice. That's very important to me. That's why I love your country so much here. And yesterday I asked you, so what do you want to earn? What do you want to earn every month?
5 million a month.
And I don't like the word earn, by the way, because I'm a very spiritual person and it's all there. You don't have to earn it. It's like, I don't know if you understand this, guys, but there might be someone who's listening to it who get it. Abundance is our birthright. That's very spiritual. I'm a very spiritual person. So it's there. It's there. You gotta open up yourself to that. But so I know what I want. I have a hard time to think about things that I don't want. And you have getting to have a hard time knowing what you don't want, right?
Yeah.
I would love to hear what you guys want. I would love to hear that. Just give it in the comments. Like write down what you want because that's a form of pulling it into your life to set your intention on something and then you go. Like could you write down what do you want in your life? And when you're too shy to write it down, you don't want to open up here. Just think about that question for yourself.
I'm going to challenge you if you're going to leave a comment under this video, which I encourage you to do. This is like, you don't have to get out a piece of paper. You don't have to go download a worksheet. You don't have to go on the internet and find like the perfect form to do this. You can do it right under this video. And feel free to write, like, comment what you don't want. Giver, comment what you don't want. Go crazy. I'm just waiting right now for all the comments to start coming up before I drop the other shoe. And the other shoe is no matter how many words you use to comment what you don't want, use the same amount of words and the same amount of energy to comment what you do want. That's my challenge to you.
And it's so interesting because like I don't know if you are a news watcher or not, but in the news you have like a big range of things that you don't want. You can watch them every day. Like you can put the news or let's say you let the news into your head. And the excuse is, oh, I have to watch the news because I have to be updated. I have to know what's going on. And I don't know if anyone ever brought the concept to you that if you worry about things all the time, if you're in a state of worrying all the time, nothing happens. You're stuck. Like, this man is stuck in a relationship with me. You stay stuck in the bad weather, in the bad news. So how do you want your life to be? Think about it, because it's your choice. It's not the choice of the news, by
I'm happily stuck now.
the
I
way.
couldn't be happier. I don't know, like a lot of people don't actually know my story, but my story is in like one sentence. My story is like 4 kids, 3 baby mamas, 0 marriages. Uh, Now, today, I'm in the happiest relationship I've ever been in, but that kind of understates it. I'm married to the most beautiful soul on the face of the earth. I could not be more fulfilled by this relationship. And it's not because we're all sunshine and rainbows every single day. It's because it's partly because it's sunshine and rainbows for part of every single day, but it's also because she challenges me. She doesn't just take whatever I say. She says no in her German accent. No, this is a, and so we butt heads sometimes, but we always know, no matter what happens, no matter how we're colliding in our opinions, that that doesn't threaten the relationship at all, because we're both free to have that expression of our opinions and our beliefs within the relationship. We set that rule out at the beginning, and that's how it is. I just went off on a whole thing on relationships, and that's not even the topic today. But I did that because I'm so much in love with this woman every single day.
I'm so much in love with you.
Yeah. I just a little sidebar. I don't know if you wanted to talk about towards motivation and away from motivation. That's kind of related to what do you want and what do you don't want,
Go ahead.
because there's a difference, right? Like I completely agree that it's super important to have a very clear picture of what you want, and most people don't. But what happens is, so there's two kinds of motivation. There's motivation towards something, and there's motivation away from something. And I'm not here to tell you that one of these kinds of motivation is bad. They're just different the way that they work. The reason why everyone tells you to be super specific about what you want, there's a reason for that. And it's because the away from motivation is extremely powerful, but it has no direction. So, like, it's caveman running away from saber-toothed tiger motivation. You can run super fast. You could run a 4-minute mile, no problem. But where? Like, where are you going? Doesn't matter. Away from that. It doesn't matter. Up a tree, up a cliff, over a cliff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're going to greener pastures or into a desert or into a cactus. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you're going away. Super, super powerful motivation if you use it correctly, but no direction. So it's super important to have the other kind of motivation. You need to have the towards motivation. And the only way to have towards motivation is if you know what you want. And when you know what you want, now you're not the caveman with a saber-toothed tiger behind you. You're the caveman with spear in hand on the hunt. You know what you're going for, you know where it is, you know how to get to it, and you're taking only the steps that matter. And so for most people, I think that kind of motivation is normally less urgent and maybe less powerful, but it's super efficient. Super efficient, because when you do it right, there's no like distractions. There's no shiny object syndrome. There's none of that, because you know exactly where you're going. So if you're experiencing shiny object syndrome, it might be time to just revisit, what do you want?